Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but we've got some dismal Disney news for you. Turns out that Beau DeMayo, the showrunner of XMen 97, has been fired a few weeks before the series premiere, and there's some controversy as to why he's been fired. There's some allegations floating around, and I don't know what to think about this, guys, because I actually was hoping this show would be good. I know there's been a lot of discussion about Morph potentially being non-binary, and I know there's been some discussion about Rogue's ass, but that is not the biggest controversy now. The biggest controversy is why was Beau DeMayo fired? Beau DeMayo infamously worked on The Witcher, and I believe he quit or got pushed out of Netflix's Witcher adaptation after saying they strayed too far from the source material. He defended Henry Cavill. I was willing to give XMen 97 a chance. I actually was pretty excited about it. I know a lot of other people did videos talking about Rogue's ass and Morph, and I didn't really care. Like, nobody gave a shit about Morph. Like, really, Morph was made up just for the animated series, and he was MacGuffin. He died in the, second episode, and they used him to introduce the X-Men and give them some motivation to defeat the bad guys. That's what the purpose of Morph was. And he came back as Dark Morph and all that. But he was never really a big part of the X-Men animated series. Anyway, but I digress. Let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. No woohoos. Definitely no woohoos from Beau DeMayo. So it is possible that they backed the wrong horse. If allegations on Twitter are to be believed, and we know that Twitter tends to make things up, but there had to be a reason that they got rid of him the way that they did, and they're not inviting him to the premiere, especially with as much fanfare as they've been giving this series. Like, the marketing has gone up to an 11. They've been, I saw the other day, they were using the 90s Jim Lee X-Men cards to market this show. And I gotta tell you, I'm getting all the feels. I'm getting all the nostalgia feels. And then this happens. Damn it. This is why we can't have nice things. This is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Marvel shocker, X-Men 97 showrunner Beau DeMayo fired weeks before premiere. Exclusive. In an unusual situation on the eve of a project's debut, the writer-producer who worked on Moon Knight and Blade will no longer be promoting the show or moving forward with future seasons. Earlier this month, Beau DeMayo was in the midst of a particularly busy time at Marvel. The writer-producer was preparing for the launch of X-Men 97, the Disney Plus series he created as a continuation of the 90s Fox Kids show. DeMayo, a Marvel regular who previously wrote on live-action series Moon Knight, as well as early drafts of the company's delayed but still upcoming vampire thriller Blade, had completed writing duties on Season 2 of X-Men 97. He was lining up press and making plans to attend the show's Hollywood premiere on March 13th. He was even discussing loose ideas for a third season. But earlier last week, Marvel and DeMayo suddenly parted ways. His company email was deactivated, and cast and crew were informed he was no longer on the project. DeMayo's Instagram account, once a source for X-Men updates, was deleted. No reason for the firing was given. Marvel had no comment. DeMayo's representatives did not return calls for comment, and emails to the showrunner yielded no response. Damn! I was going to try to get him on the podcast, too. I was going to try to get him on D-Rest. I actually wanted to talk to him about The Witcher and X-Men and what the differences were, and apparently that's not going to happen now. It was surprising. It was a surprising turn of events on the eve of the show's March 20th debut. Splitting with writers is a normal part of business for Marvel. However, it's unusual for a top creative on a Marvel project to miss a premiere or cancel press plans at the last minute. They did this with Nia DaCosta, too. They said there was a scheduling conflict, but she was not at the premiere for the Marvels, as I understand it. Most Marvel premieres feature multiple screenwriters walking the red carpet, some of whom had been rewritten. by other writers also walking the carpet. Marvel announced DeMayo's hiring in November 2021. The move was met with some level of excitement as the scribe brought his identity as a gay black man to the project. That actually was not the reason I was excited. I was excited because the guy was like, they did The Witcher dirty and they took a lot of liberties from the books and the games. And when I do X-Men, I'm going to make sure that I stick to the source material, and I'm going to hire people that want to stick to the source material. That's why I was excited. I actually didn't even know he was gay or black at the time. I didn't care. I'm just like, oh my God, finally somebody working on X-Men that wants to respect the source material. He grew up as the adopted son of white parents with a Korean sister in the South. That's interesting. And their struggles, he said that the X-Men characters and their struggles for acceptance by society felt personal for him. His silence on social media has been quite acute, as he was a prolific poster, sharing X-Men tidbits as well as shirtless pictures of himself at the gym. For a time, he also ran a non-explicit OnlyFans account, all of which inspired the LGBTQ publication Out to declare him the sexy gay Marvel writer and showrunner to know. Is it possible he had another OnlyFans account? I'm just saying, Disney probably doesn't want somebody out there, I don't know, showing their one-eyed mutant to people. At times, social media had proven a challenge. While making the series in May 2023, DeMayo announced he would be deleting his Twitter account after he was attacked by users accusing X-Men 97 of whitewashing Sunspot. That was stupid. It's also a cartoon character. X-Men 97 continues the story of X-Men, the animated series, which ran from 92 to 97 and 96. I think that's why this is 97, but who knows? And is credited with introducing a generation of children to the mutant characters and priming the pump for the X-Men movies of the early 2000s. That is actually very true. Next week, on the 20th, I did an interview with Art T-Bear, who worked on the X-Men in the 90s, not the animated series, but he worked on the comic books. And we talk about that. We talk about how much the animated series and those X-Men comic books, how much of an impact they had on pop culture and how far the X-Men have fallen in recent years that now they just get dressed up and go to prom. That's what people know about the X-Men. But this is before we recorded it last week, before this broke loose. So it's going to seem kind of dated, I think, because I talk about how I was kind of hoping that Beau DeMayo would do right by the series. DeMayo was among the kids who grew up watching the show. He said in June of 2022, anyone who feels different, we all have a Magneto inside of us, and we all have a Charles Xavier. We all have a part of us that wants to burn it all down, and there's a part of us who really wants to find the compromise and build it up. And those comics really helped me understand my identity. So let's get into this. Again, this is, I don't know how reliable this is. I had somebody send this to me. Streets are saying he had an OnlyFans account, but that cannot be why he was fired. Bruh. You know, you're working for Disney with an OnlyFans. I mean, that's probably not a good idea. This person, Allison Blair's #1 fan, says he's also had many abuse allegations against him. Apparently, source, somebody he worked with on The Witcher. Now, I don't know what to make of this because I know a lot of people that worked with him on The Witcher were furious with him when he threw the writing team under the bus, basically, and said that he tried to warn them they were deviating too far from the books and the games, and people weren't going to like it. And he stood up for Henry Cavill, and fans of the books and the games loved him for it at the time. So you have to kind of take that into consideration. It is possible that people are just out there to smear him now, but there had to be a reason for Disney to dump him as quickly as they did, especially a week before the premiere of the series. And they're kind of betting the farm on this one. I think they're trying to gauge to see how much interest there really is in X-Men. And again, we thought the biggest controversy was going to be Rogue's ass, but here we are. This is Dr. Matt D'Ambrosio. If I were unceremoniously fired from a job for being both emotionally and physically abusive, I'd probably focus on getting help instead of constantly bringing up my involvement with said job, probably in reference to The Witcher. In addition, D'Ambrosio tweeted this as well after DeMayo's statement. For no reason at all, I'm thinking of the time a gay writer once told me that bisexuality is a trope, and also another time he said that bottoms are disease receptacles. And he'd also go out of his way to kill queer characters. Wait, what? Okay, so again, take it with a grain of salt. He has a lot of people that are gunning for him. You know, but that being said, there was a reason that Disney dumped him. Because, I mean, for Disney to dump someone that the media is heralding as basically the it guy, right? A gay black showrunner on a beloved franchise, for Disney to dump him a week before the show, there's got to be something going on. But there's been so much drama around this. I'm starting to think the show's going to be dead on arrival anyway. Of course, we have the Morph issue, which they had a whole story on it on them.us. Right-wing trolls have worked themselves up over a non-binary X-Men character who nobody gave a shit about until they did. I'm just saying. And also Rogue's ass. Rogue's ass is a huge issue, and there's no way that current year Disney was going to let them get away with this, for sure. So I don't know, guys. That's what's going on. That's all we know currently. I'm thinking it's not good. I'm thinking that for them to get rid of him the way that they did, there has to be something going on, and they're probably going to try to sweep it under the rug because they don't want it affecting the premiere of X-Men 97. But if the show drops, and if it is the quote-unquote woke disaster that people have been fearing, it might be dead on arrival anyway. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.